Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and here we have another Amazon return box from eBay. Yes, 50 items for £50. I got this one for £45 because eBay was offering a 10% discount, and I took them up on it, and that's the reason it's £45. I already did one of these a few weeks ago, and it was really well received, so here we have another one. Now, the seller did actually watch my video on the first one, and then I said, well, I've ordered another one for you, because I actually ordered another one before the first video went live, because I really enjoyed doing it. Even if the video wasn't going to do well, I thought it'd be fun for me to do another one. And yeah, I don't know whether this one has been tailored a little bit because it's My Mate Vince, not too sure, but I was very happy with the first one, and that was just completely random. I don't know what's in here, but that's part of the fun. Oh, look at this. Right, straight away, what we got here? Discover R portable smart speaker. Excellent. A little light mini, that might actually do for filming. Batteries, can never get enough batteries. Fantastic, you can check them later. Oh, a battery charger for, I don't know for what make. Obviously it's a third party one. Yeah, you know, like Makita or something like that. Another speaker. Nextbase dash cam. Power A Xbox controller. Well, there certainly seems to be some big ticket items in this box here, considering that it's £1 an item. You can see that if you were a reseller, there would be profit to be made. Now, I do think this has been tailored for me. The box seems a lot heavier than the first one I got, so I think the seller's done me a favour, because he would have sold quite a lot of boxes from my first video, because it done well. It got, I think, 80,000 views so far. So, yeah, this wouldn't be indicative of an item that you would buy from eBay, but my first one definitely was. But hopefully with this one here, we'll have some bigger items that might make for more interesting fixes. So I'm going to sort through them now, see what's working, what's not working, and then we can start fixing. So first up we have this, and this is a little ultrasound. It says here, pocket fetal Doppler. So if you're pregnant, you would put some ultrasound gel, or it says on the bottom here that you could use olive oil or baby oil, and then you'd rub this across your belly, and hopefully you would hear the heartbeat. But look, there's batteries in it, and when I turn it on, it's not doing anything. And I've measured these batteries, and they are measuring okay. They're brand new. So, what is the problem going to be? I think maybe it's something to do with the power switch, or maybe there's contacts between here and the circuit board. But if you look here, we've got 1.6 volts in them. 1.62 and 1.62. So they're brand new batteries. So let's try to get into this. I see a little screw here. So start by undoing that, and then what we got here, a little RJ10, I think that might be, or RJ11, a bit small. I think that might be an RJ10. Let's undo that screw, and I presume it just pries this apart. Already I can tell that I'm really going to enjoy this lot here, because there's so much to get through, and some items I would have never thought to buy or look at. Here we go. So it is clipped. Ooh. There we go. Can you see already? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to zoom in. This is what I love about Honest Faults. Move my blue mat around to help you. Do you see anything on here that doesn't look right? There you go. Boom. So there's no power getting to there because this wasn't plugged in properly, either from manufacture or maybe in shipping. It's got knocked out. So if we put that in there, there you go. I mean, that goes in with a nice click. I don't think that was put in properly to begin with, because look, that doesn't seem to want to come out easily. You really have to yank that. That was never put in from new. Let's see now if we have life in it. Come on, there we go. Resolved. What an easy fix. Wow. Do you know what? I don't mind, you see, because I've got many things to go through. I was going to say I'm going to add some glue to it, but there really is no need. You see how hard that was to unplug. So let's just put it back together here. and I'll flash up on the screen how much. Actually, no, I want to know myself how much it cost. Right, looking on Amazon, I thought there would be loads of them for sale, but no, it's only this one for £48, and that one's unavailable. And after that, it's like using gels. So when you turn it on here, you've got the volume. So you've got like volume up here. Now, I've just had a little go myself, and personally, I can't actually feel it. So I presume you do have to have some gel to make it conduct. Yeah, I thought I'd be able to hear my heartbeat, but I can't. Anyway, I'm going to assume it's working, because the thing is, we've seen a visible fault, and it also looks like there's other settings as well. So if I was to go, that's volume, 1 second. If I press this one here, 1, 2, and something like that. So I need to read up about it, but I'm not in the market for one at the moment anyway. But still, nice that it was fixed. Let's move on to the next thing. Right now, let's get the next item. Oh, what a nice subtle way to introduce the sponsor of today's video. So if you like fixing things, like me, maybe you might also like making things as well. And if you do, if you want to bring your project to life in a nice professional way, then look into PCB Way. PCB Way have over a decade experience in the PCB industry. They have state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities, and they use the latest technology to produce high-quality PCBs that meet your specification. At PCB Way, they have a range of services including PCB prototyping, PCB assembly, flexible PCBs, high-density PCBs, CNC machining, and 3D printing. Now, if your project is going to be using components that produce a lot of heat, you could think about using aluminium PCBs, because it will allow for better heat dissipation. It will transfer heat away from those components. And guess what? PCB Way do aluminium PCBs as well. So a massive thanks to PCB Way for sponsoring the My Mate Vince channel. Now, let's move on to the next item, a JBL waterproof speaker. When I plug it in, it's not drawing anything. The light is coming up. There's a little light that flashes, I think, here, but it's not actually drawing anything from the meter. So you might remember this from the first Amazon box that I did. Still working fine. And if you have a look, when I plug it in, we will get a little light that flashes here. Not flashes, but comes on. But look, it's not drawing anything. Yeah. So that's not right. It should be drawing something, and we can't turn it on, whether it's plugged in or not. So let's tear it down. That was also the same fault with this one here. It wasn't drawing anything, and it wasn't connected to the battery properly. So let's see what's happening here. Now, it's not the easiest thing to get into, because it's held in with a lot of clips. It's also got screws, and also there's some sticky pads on it as well. But it is waterproof, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get into. Start off by just prising off the ends on each end, and also on the back there's a big rubber pad that's stuck down, so you can peel that back. And once you do that, it uncovers screws. Once you undo all the screws, I think there was 4 or 5 on the back, and then a couple on each end, then what happens is the whole kind of fabric cover comes off. It splits into, well, it only splits down one side, but you can hinge it off then. And then bit by bit, there's other screws to undo on the inside, and then it will give you access to the board and the battery. Now, what's happening? Why are you not charging? What is going on? So it's all glued in, so the battery is there. Let's plug it in and see if we have any voltage across here, because I can see a ground. And then maybe I can zoom in and see what other test points there are. V batteries. Let's go between ground and V battery. Tell you what, let me just see if we plug it in the other way, just in case. No, because it's USB-C. Right, let's have a little look here. So there's no voltage getting there, so let's unplug that. Right, so we've got nothing there. Let me just go on the actual prongs. Let's see if that changes when I plug it in. Plugging it in now. It does change a tiny bit, to be fair. But it's just incredibly low. Do you reckon the battery has just failed? Because it is giving me something. I think we need to unplug the battery and see what we have. It should be 3.7. It's going to be awkward because it's had a load of stuff put on it, which looks a little bit like Loctite. There we go. Right, annoyingly, that has actually broken that a bit. Can you see I've got a crack there now? I think it'd be okay though. Right, let's see what we got. It was the outer two, wasn't it? I can't even see the colour wires. There you go, black and red. So let's go on the outer two. No, so there's nothing in this battery whatsoever. It's called great power as well, anything but great power. Unless of course there is a short on the board and it's causing no voltage. Let's have a look. You know, it's drained it completely. 4 ohm short, maybe. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's something on here which has gone. Tell you what, let's see if we can get anything in the battery to begin with. Right, so I've got this here, which is a TP4056. There you go. And on my little battery charger here, let me zoom out a bit. It's gone to red. Right, let me leave it on there for a little while. And what would be nice is if I could get my probes on here, I could actually see it going up on my meter here. There you go, yeah. It's climbing nicely. Right, let's just take that off and see if we've got anything in the battery now. Do they just need that initial little jump start? 3.5, yeah. Okay, let's plug it in just to see if that was enough to let this take over the charging. Let's see what it's going to do now. Still not drawing anything. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. I think there's something on the board. I don't believe the battery's faulty. I think there's something on the board that's causing a problem, which is fine. But let's just first of all get a little bit of charge into this. So while I'm getting some charge into this battery, let's take out the board and see if we can see anything obvious, because it looks like we have a short coming from somewhere. We're free. We are free. Now, little mark on that chip there. Let's zoom in. There we go. That's faulty, isn't it? Let's zoom right in on that. Right, luckily I can get a nice good reading off that still. So it's EV4C. I think that's a 2PF2. So I'm going to write that down. Right, let's scrape it a bit and see if that's where it's blown. I would say yes. Yeah, look, it's still going now. Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, I don't think that's just a little imperfection. I think that's where it's gone. Oh, well, that's a shame. Let me pop the chip off the board. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just see if we've got shorts around it on these caps, because I presume these caps here are probably feeding it. Let's see if these caps are shorted. No. No. Yes. Let's get an ohm reading on that. I'll just do my leads to begin with on their own. So my leads right now are showing 10 ohms short. My leads are so annoying, 10 ohms. So now what are these? 12.9. So basically this is where that 4 ohm short is coming from that we've seen on the other side, I'm sure of it. So let's just, out of curiosity, get the hot air station on. Let's pop this one off. Let's see if that gets rid of the shorts. If it has, then I think we can safely say that that is the problem. I don't think I'm going to be able to get one of them, but I will look it up. Well, it's not wanting to release itself from the board. Problem is I can't sort of do any sideways pressure because the board's moving all over the place. Let's see if anything else is loose. Yeah. I can't get it off. I think I'm going to have to clamp the board down. There we go. Oh yeah, it's got a little, have a look underneath. And that's why it's harder to take off. I wonder if that's a ground. Right, so that's why it was hard to take off, because listen. Yeah, so when I go to the ground, like the USB port here and here, you can hear it. So the ground was sucking it all away, and you can see it's nice that the ground goes all the way up here. Yeah, so that was probably you know, helping to cool it. Right, let's see if the short on these have gone. Yes, they have. Right, let's get an ohms reading. So what was it before? 3 ohms or something? Right, so that side is 3 ohms, and this side is now completely open. Yeah, there we go. I think we've proved what the fault is. Now, I wonder if it's obviously not going to work, because I presume that's to do with charging it up. I wonder though, if we were to put the battery in, would it come to life but maybe not charge? I think we should try that. Right, let's see if it will turn on. Yes, look. Haha, listen. Did you hear that? There you go. Out of curiosity, let's see what will happen if we do try and charge it. Yeah, so it's not drawing anything. And also there's no light on here either. Yeah, so obviously that is a charged chip. Right, so again, out of curiosity, let's see if it will connect to my phone. So this is the Bluetooth one here. And we'll go to Buy It, Fix It. Highly recommend you do check out his videos. Really knows his stuff. Yeah, I watch all of his videos and I really like them. Now, let's go to here.
Hi. In a previous video,
right, where's the volume on this thing? It's up the top, isn't it?
Thermal camera multimeter from eBay and successfully repaired it. Called
so that's the loudest.
Actually seen that video, and they very kindly asked.
Right, okay. So I need to look into that chip. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this chip. If I type in EV4C, IC or chip, it's not bringing anything up. If I type in EV4C and then the rest of it, it's still not bringing anything up. Whether I type in chip or IC, it's still the same thing. Yeah. I mean, see that 2. Let me try 3. That 2 was where the burn was, but you would think there'd be enough digits there to bring it up. No, I'm sure it was a 2. So I don't think I'm going to know what one of these chips are, and this device isn't going to be popular enough for people to be kind of selling loads of spares for it. That was a real shame about that one. I'm just going to keep the chip in here along with this bit of paper. You never know, if the viewers can work out what it is, then I can do a revisit video on that. Feels nice. It feels a real nice little quality product. Right, let's move on to this weird sprocket thing. Okay, so this is the HP Sprocket, the tiny little printer with sticky photos in it. But it doesn't seem to be drawing anything, or a tiny amount. And it's been plugged in the corner charging for quite a few hours. And if you look, that's all it's doing. And it just has that flashing red light, but it doesn't seem to want to go any further than that. And as far as I can see, that's too little off a charge. Yeah, doesn't seem right, especially when it's been plugged in for hours now. So let's see if we can take it apart and see if we can work out what's going on with it. Now, how do you come apart? See, there's an on and off button here, but it's not doing anything when I press it. But again, I don't think it's a button problem, because it would still charge up. If it didn't turn on, I'd say it's a button problem. Wow, it's actually coming apart very easy. Do I spy? Oh no, I thought it was going to be one of those 18650 batteries. Right, okay, well that was a lot easier than I thought. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? Look at the gear and everything. So is it like a little printer with a little rubber roller wheel? Okay, I won't mess with that too much. So now, when we plug it in, why is it not charging this battery? What have we got here? Red and black. Should we do the same as before? Plug it in here and see what voltage we're getting. go in the outer two. Nothing. Now let's unplug it. See what we're getting. Around about the same. There's not much of a difference there, is there? Just wiggling it, see if it makes any difference to the amp draw. No. Right, let's unplug that. See if we can unplug this battery. Right, okay. Oh, it says charging limited voltage 8.4 volts. Oh, I didn't dream it'd be that high. Okay, so it's yeah, 8.4 volts. Let's see what we have in it. We don't appear to have anything in this one either. So it looks like the battery is completely dead. Now, has something on the board made it completely dead, or has the battery failed? Has it just been uncharged for a long time? So what I'm going to do is get my bench power supply on this, and I'm going to set it to around about 8 volts, but only 200 milliamps. And let's see if it starts charging. Let's see if we can get some charge into the battery, and then maybe the HP sprocket will then take over and start charging once the battery's risen to a safe amount where it's happy to charge. Now obviously if a battery's flat, you shouldn't be charging it up like this because it could be dangerous. I'm just doing this with a bench power supply on low milliamps, so I feel safe doing it. I'm also going to monitor the temperature of the battery by feeding it every few minutes to see if it's getting warm. Okay, I'm jumping in the next day now. I was actually editing up the video and this was getting the better of me. I didn't have a conclusive answer, so I visited it again now and I've got more info, hence the reason I'm refilming this bit here. So basically yesterday what I did is I put my bench power supply straight into the red and black wires here, and sure enough this did take a charge. I got it up to something like 7 point something volts. Basically this is two 3.7 lithium cells together in series, so we have 7.4 volts or 8.4 volts max charging. And when I got charge into this and put it into the HP sprocket connected to my phone, sure enough it worked, and I printed out a lovely picture of the dog that visited me, and I was really impressed about how good the actual quality was of that picture. You know, like it really does look just like the picture on my phone, because this line and stuff was on my phone when I took it because it was a sunny day. So it worked fine while I had charging the battery, but bit by bit it kept dropping and dropping, and it didn't matter if I plugged it in, it just would not charge. So I didn't know whether it was a fault with the battery or the board. So now the battery cells have to be okay because they're taking and holding the charge. Even now I will have charge in here. Let me just show you that now. You can see that I've got 7.3 volts in there, and it will hold, you know, it will hold, it won't drop. But you see, we've got a little sort of battery management board here. So we've got 5 wires. The 2 reds are connected together on the same solder joint. The 2 blacks are connected together. So really we've only got 3 wires, positive, negative, and this yellow wire. It's like a temperature wire. You will see that from this point here, it goes through the board to here, little wire to here, and it says NTC. Now if you watch my air fryer video, you know an NTC will change resistance with heat. So what I did is I went across here with my meter and I got an ohm reading off like 11,000 ohms, I think it was. So actually I went from the black wire to the yellow wire here. It was 11,000 ohms. When I heated it up very, very gently with my hot air thing here, just very quickly, obviously not applying heat to the lithium cells, then the resistance changed quite dramatically. So I know the little NTC thing's working. So that said to me it's probably not the battery, it's probably something on the board. If you have a look at the middle wire here, it goes down a little wire, this tiny little wire here, into this chip. So I presume this is like the charging chip. So I thought to myself, okay, what about if I short out with tweezers the negative against here? So in other words, then the ohm reading is going to be, you know, just a complete short, and it didn't make any difference. Beg your pardon, sorry, these are the negatives here, like that. It didn't make any difference. And then I went from the positive to here, and as soon as I did that, it came alive, which I thought was weird, and now it's charging at a good rate. So I don't know, by doing that, have I kick-started something? Because I've kind of gone via the wires here, underneath here, and they travel up through here into this area. Or have I blown something in the chip? I mean, there was no smoke, There was no nasty smells or any bangs or anything like that, just nothing. I just did that, and all of a sudden on my meter it just started to charge at, I think it was like 0.6 of an amp or something like that, and that's when it started filming, so I could show you. So I'm going to put it back together now and show you what I mean. So yesterday, didn't matter what I did, I could not get this to charge. It was always 0.0. So if I plug this in now with nothing in, it didn't make a difference if the battery was connected or not. It always gave me this same reading. Yeah? And that's not going to charge at that low reading there. So when I plugged the battery in yesterday, that's all it was doing. Just that. Right, now watch. Got to be careful with this battery now. Right, let me just balance it here. Plug it in, look what it's doing now. See? Now we've got two red lights. I don't know if you can see that. Two red lights there. And look at that, we've got a nice, healthy charge going on. Now, that to me looks like that. Well, I know at that level there, the battery's charging. Because yesterday, when it was 0.04, I had it plugged in for 2 hours and it wouldn't charge. Have I somehow kick-started that chip? Did that chip get kind of locked, latched into some position? And by me going across the positive, not the negative, it was the positive I went across, and that temperature wire, that's when it came to life. Now I must stress I did this whilst it was charging, so I had the micro USB plugged in charging, and that's when I went across the red wire and the yellow wire. So I really don't know. Let's just see what happens. So I'm just going to tape this battery up now, get it all back together, and then I want to show you a picture printed out because I think it looks pretty impressive. Right, I found one here. That was me when I went on my skateboarding weekend, even though I haven't stood on a skateboard in years and years and years, attempting to do a wall ride. I didn't land that. But at that moment in time, it was looking promising. So check this out. I hit this here. Oh, also look, sorry, you can do tiles, which is clever. So each one of these pictures are 3" by 2". But look, you can build up bigger pictures by doing it in tiles. Can you see? So you can have 9 there to make big pictures. Right, let's just do that one there. Connecting to Sprocket printer. It's lovely the way it comes out. Oh, here it comes. And these are sticky as well, so you can basically peel them. There. Oh, look at that. Looks so old. My friend was taking it using an actual black and white camera. You know, a film. Not digital. Look at that. How good does that look? It's a novelty little device. Right, okay, so yeah, that is it. I'm going to leave this plugged in, and I want to see maybe, I'm going to turn it off. I want to see maybe if after half an hour or so, if it goes green. Well, this is good news. It's been about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Still amber light here. It's at 86%. But look, can you see now? The current's dropped right down. So it looks like it's more going to trickle charging now for the last bit, which is fantastic. Right, brilliant news. It's gone to 99% here. And it's not drawing anything. Look at that. 0 amps. Fantastic. Oh, and it's gone to green. Brilliant news. So it looks like it's working. What a result. That's fantastic. Right, okay, let's move on to another item now. Obviously, I'll only know over time whether this is fully fixed, but it's certainly doing a lot more than it did yesterday, and it's showing all the signs that it's working safely because it's no longer charging when it gets to 99%, which is just great. Excellent. On to the next item. Right, next up we have this thing here, which is basically like a handheld gimbal thing, and it is doing certain things, but it has a bit of a mind of its own. It seems to not stay focused on where it needs to stay focused. To be fair, it's doing pretty good now. There you go, it's gone off again. But anyway, you can see here that there's a joystick bit missing, and the remains of it are in here. But even if I put this in here, can you see it just keeps moving? Because I presume it's, I don't know what's going on there. I think we need to take it apart and see what's going on with this joystick. Because right now I can't seem to get it to do what it needs to do. And now, gone again. So I think what's happening is this is like in some weird position in here that keeps throwing it off. So let's take it apart and see if we can work out what's going on. Luckily with this one, it's just some Torx screws to undo, and then we have a little sticker cover around one of the mounts. We peel that off, there's more screws under that. The main handle that we actually need to get into is all just clipped together, and it actually comes apart okay, this one. So basically the joystick is snapped. As we look at the joystick closer, we just have to undo the board, some little screws, the joystick is then on the other side. What it actually is a potentiometer. If you imagine like an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, the thumbstick's on that. Very similar to that, but unfortunately different. I can't just use that. So the potentiometer is broken. The axle where the thumbstick attaches to is completely snapped off. So it doesn't matter what you do with the joystick, it's not actually moving the X and Y axis at all. Obviously it needs a replacement potentiometer, but unfortunately I can't find one, as I'll show you in this next part of the video, and then I'll also show you a close-up of the potentiometer. Right, I've looked at my phone for gimbal potentiometer, and there's nothing that resembles this one here. But what I'll do is I'll zoom in, because obviously it's just going to be an off-the-shelf part, and maybe some of you will actually recognise the symbol, and then you might be able to find out which one it is, or tell me the manufacturer, and then I'll be able to find one, because I'm sure they're only going to cost a few pounds. You see this symbol up here? Kind of looks like an S. So if we could work out what that is, then we'd have a better chance of finding out. So what I've done is I've dismantled this, and you can see now this is how it works. So we have that on the board, we've got a carbon track up here and a carbon track here, and we've got fingers that rub along it here and here. One for this one for this one. And basically we need something to go in between the bottom here and this one here to be able to move around, and then this to go on top. So what I'm thinking is I've got a tiny little cable clip with a little nail. If I was to grind it down and make this as flat as could be, but still with a head on it, then you see I'll be able to slide one end, hopefully all the way down there, the other one all the way down here, and then it still might be enough to, I might be able to whack it on there, obviously when it's cut down to size. So right now I need to do quite a bit of grinding. I haven't got anything smaller than this at the moment, but if I grind it down here and here with the Dremel tool, then I'll put a grinding disc on, then I might be able to get this to work, and there should be quite a bit of strength in that, more strength than plastic. Deary me, it really is like living in the days before the internet. I just can't seem to get any of these things working because of lack of spares. Like, nothing's coming up on Google and eBay, and that's not the norm. Normally you will find something. Often it will be from AliExpress, and you might have to wait a month or two for it to arrive, but normally you can find some kind of record of it. So I feel like I've been a little bit unlucky so far. Anyway, here I am just grinding this nail down, trying to get this together. I don't really know why I'm wasting my time on this, to be honest with you. It's just that I'm sort of thinking it'd be nice to see if it could move, because when you move the joystick it's supposed to pan the phone left and right and up and down, so it would be quite nice to see it work, even if it's not going to work well. Anyway, look, let's get a move on with it, and we'll give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive at the same time as you're watching this. So the members this month are kitsdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Robert from Timsy's Auto Air, Daniel Watson, Zeke C, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Operational 117, Russ Mellinson, Ellis Garbett, and Gaspar Heller. Big thank you to each of you. Right, so now I've got this bodge off a potentiometer back together. Let's see if it is actually going to work or not. Let's see now if it's going to do anything. Ooh. Oh my word. That's left and right. Doesn't want to centre very well though. But it does go left and right. I just can't stop it. I can't find the middle. Right, okay, does it go up? Oh yes it does, look. Look. That's pretty clever. Does Does it go the other way? Yes, it does, look. Excellent. I just can't use it with my thumb because it's pivoting rather than, you know, moving like that. But look, we've proved it. We've definitely proved this to potentiometer that's wrong. Now I should be ending this video here because it's already long enough, and this length video will do better than a 50-minute video, but I've had 2 fixes and 2 failures, and it is a need, the fixes to win. So I'm going to look through the box to find something that hopefully will be an easier fix that will just push the win to the fixes. Come on now, Vince, I need this. Right, here we have an amplified hearing assistant. So if you're hard of hearing, you can put some headphones in, and this is supposed to amplify the sound for the room into you. And it looks brand new, but look, check this out. It turns on, but when I go to put my headphone jack in, it just feels loose. So it's got a little lithium battery inside, but here, ta-da, there's nothing happening. So, fingers crossed, this might be just a solder job. I'd love to end on a positive. I really like these surprise boxes because, again, something like this I would have never normally looked at. Right, okay, now, what are we looking at? Something up here. Oh, look at the microphone. Oh, cool. That's nice, that. It's got a proper little, you know, the bit of foam around it as well. Proper microphone. Here we go. Excellent. There we go. Look at that. Completely off. Taking the pads with it though. Right, let's zoom in and see if we can work out what's going on. So we got one feeding it here, so that's no problem. I can just scrape that back and we'll be able to solder back onto that one. That's fine. This one here. Right, that will take. Okay, so that's fine. I can take that straight from that little point there. So this should be nice and easy. Have we got little holes? No. See, look, if we had little prongs here, then it might have given it a little bit more. Oh, we have got one. Oh yeah, they've broken off because they would have given it strength, you see. They would have given it a bit of insertion strength. All right, well, what I'm going to have to do is, I think I'm going to have to, I haven't got any epoxy here. It's in the Rolls Royce, otherwise I'd epoxy it in. Should I just use a bit of super glue and then a bit of hot glue? I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to put it all around here. And then I can maybe put some hot glue on the end bit. Right, so I'm going to let that set. Right, so that's been drying for 10 minutes now with me holding it like this. So hopefully it's going to be all right. Now, I don't have much faith that that it's going to be that strong because you see those little bits have gone through here. I was thinking about shoving something in, but I can't. There really is not enough height there. It's just going to interfere with the jack going into it. So rather than just using solder, I am going to use a little bit of wire on each one. And that means then that even if it was to push back a tiny bit, there's a chance that the wire may stay intact. And also the wire might just give it a little, just a tiny little bit of strength. So this is just some solid core telephone wire. And my solder does have flux built in, but I'm just going to add a little bit of flux and clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol at the end. Okay, so that's it there now. Lots of solder on it and also a wire as well. So I'm going to put it back in its home and then add the hot glue to it. If it needs to come apart in the future, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol removes the hot glue, no problem at all. Right, it certainly plugs in now. We're on that one there. Let's turn it on. Oh, I can already hear. Wow. Hello, hello. My God. Hello, 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 hello. Whoa, that is seriously loud. Right, let me put these up to the mic and speak into here, and hopefully you'll be able to hear them. Even from here, I can hear it really easily. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to be quite so loud. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, so if you were hard of hearing, then whoa, that is so loud. It really is. Yeah, amazing. Right, okay, let's recap. Well, that concludes this video. So I only tested these items, so I might have lots more videos in that box there. You didn't see this one here. This is a Key Light Mini. It gives off a serious amount of light. It's made by Elgato, so they're the ones that do their video capture. So for example, you know, when you're streaming and stuff like that. So that would actually be useful for me because maybe I could get some good light on close-ups and stuff like that. It's an expensive bit of kit. That one there I think is 80 or 90 pounds. As far as I can see, it's fully working. From what I've tested, maybe the battery doesn't last long. This one here is fully working. Looks to be around about £40-ish. This one here is fully working. Believe it or not, that is about another £80. The sprocket now appears to be working, again £80 or £90. And these two things here were failures, but not through want of trying. It was just that I need a chip for that. If I can get a chip for that, I know 100% that will be working. And if I can get a potentiometer for that one, I know that that will 100% be working. So if you were a reseller, you've really made your money back on these items. Out of everything here, I like this for the novelty point of view. This one here I probably will use, but the other stuff I wouldn't have been in the market for. But it still makes for interesting viewing. And that's why I like these Amazon mystery boxes, because I don't know what's going to turn up. And I find out about things like this and this and this that I've never seen before. So yeah, massive thanks to the seller for sending these out. Hopefully there'll be another interesting video coming out of this box. Who knows, after the comment section I might be able to get this one and this one fully working, and then I can include that in maybe part 2 of this Amazon mystery box. Take care everyone.
Bubblegum fights on the 3rd floor. Comedy specials at 8. Fishing rod and a quiet few. The what I caught wouldn't be big enough for you and lie and say I did great. And all